So you got your hands on some V-Log L footage installed into a Panasonic camera, and you want to get it popping. I got you. You are now tuned in to the big boy Shaoba McCoy, and today we're talking about getting the best out your V-Log L footage to create cinematic looks. But before we get into it, hit those like, subscribe, and notification buttons. Now, with their version of V-Log L, the Lumix line of cameras can produce some amazing footage. In truth, once you get it together, it's not that hard to create dopeness. The problem is that most dudes haven't developed a workflow to get the best out their V-Log L footage. Then, when they go back and look at their projects, it looks like manure, feces, dung. Just plain old shit. So to help out, I made a 3-part video tutorial teaching you my workflow. This way you can stop flushing your V-Log L footage down the toilet. Facts. This first part is going to help you to get a sound understanding of V-Log L and how to expose for it. In the second video, we're going to do a primary and secondary correction to some footage. In the final video, we will create a look for your V-Log L footage. So with V-Log L, if you start in a bad place, you're going to end up in a bad place. You can quote me on that. To get the best, we need to kick it with the most hardest and most technical part, understanding V-Log L and how to expose for it. Now, if you didn't know, a log curve helps your camera to get the most of what your sensor sees. A good analogy that I came up with for comparing log to Rec 709 is a road that you have to travel to get somewhere. See, we all know the fastest way to get somewhere is a straight line. And that camera, these are all the Rec 709 base profiles. Log takes the scenic route. It still gets you to the same place, but went all around the neighborhood first. While going all around the neighborhood, V-Log L showed you more of your surroundings. Now, while log is better than Rec 709, it's not perfect. It doesn't give your camera more dynamic range. Also, log footage is not raw footage. With log, some of the processing still happens in camera. It still bakes in the white balance, ISO, and other stuff. This is not the case for true raw footage. The next thing you have to wrap your head around is that V-Log L is not V-Log. It's a limited version. It's like somebody took a knife to V-Log, chopped off the top of it, and gave us V-Log L. So what I mean by this, V-Log L is similar to V-Log, but limited in the dynamic range it can capture. Standard V-Log has about 3 more stops it can capture in the highlights. When shooting in V-Log L, anything above 80 IRE will be blown out to white. Know that? That's how it is. Also, both V-Log and V-Log L shadows shouldn't be exposed lower than 7.3 IRE. Anything lower will show up as crushed blacks in your camera. Another thing is that 18% gray doesn't sit at 55 IRE in V-Log or V-Log L. It comes in at 42 IRE. Thus, white skin should be set to around 55 IRE instead of the traditional 70 IRE. Dark skin like mine is around 30 IRE. If you have people in your scene, expose for their skin first, then your highlights second. You want to keep your exposure between 10 and 75 IRE. You also need to understand that V-Log L is not designed to be exposed for without tools. You need to expose V-Log L using a waveform monitor and your zebras. You want to set your zebra to 75 IRE for those highlights. If you have a second zebra, then you can set it to your subject's skin level. If you have other tools available to you, such as force color and a color checker, you should use them as well. Exposing by eye will lead to issues in post. But if you expose for V-Log L right, when you get in post-production, you will have the best image to work with. In post-production, you can crush your blacks and blow out your whites as you like. Another thing you have to understand when it comes to V-Log L is chroma subsampling and bit depth. Both of these impact the ability to grade your footage. With V-Log L, you should always use the highest quality codec available. Stay away from shooting anything 8-bit 420 unless you're into color blocking and color banding. 420 chroma sampling discards 3/4 of the color data, not good for aggressive grading. Even with 10-bit 422, I don't try to push it around too hard. If this means recording to an external recorder to get the best quality image, then that's what it is. A good rule of thumb is to look at the color direction in the scene and just try to enhance that. This way, you're less likely to break your colors. Now, I know a lot of Lumix cameras have variable frame rate functions, and it's a really important feature for those cameras. VBR only shoots 8-bit 420. I'm not saying don't use VBR, but you can't do the same things color-wise as you could do with the standard frame rates. Any project with VFR footage, the hit with shot should come from that footage. You'll be able to match the standard footage to the VFR footage with less issue. So, like I mentioned in the opener, if you start in a good place with V-Log L, then you will end up in a good place. Also, all that I explained to you about how to expose V-Log L are general guidelines. They are exposure techniques that you can use to get a little bit more out of any log profile. But that's an advanced topic based on understanding how to read the luma values needed for your scene. I'll have a video for that in the future, but right now we're rocking with this. Now, this is my understanding of working with V-Log L. If you got some insight, then I want to know about it. Drop it in the comments. And then make sure to check out the next video after this one. In that video, I will walk you through doing a primary and secondary correction to V-Log L footage.